the amount of older cars are slowly going to leave the car market. And those older cars, aren't going to have as much technology as the newer cars coming out, which means that they'll be able to be bought for less. They'll be more easily afforded. Now, there are, of course, your exceptions where the older car has been built up, the owner has put a lot of parts into it, work into it, to where it's in great condition again. And in those cases, of course, the price is going to go up. But for the most part, most of the older cars, they're going to be in standard condition and be able to be more easily afforded. When I say standard, I just mean, in a regular condition, not overly worked on, not overly souped up. Now, as time goes on, of course, a lot of the older cars are going to phase out, and we're going to be forced to buy cars with more technology in them. And those cars with more technology cost more. People are asking more for them for that reason. And of course, certain problems in the car is going to cost more. It's more expensive to take care of a car with more technology in it. And less people will be able to, quickly own that car outright. I used to hear stories where, I picked up a car for $500. I picked up a car for $1,000. I picked up a car for $1,200. Well, with these cars with more technology in them, people aren't asking for those low prices. Of course, inflation, everything's gonna go up. Of course, as time goes on, things are gonna be more expensive. But people are asking for more for these cars with this technology, and even the basic level of technology. People are asking more, and most people's, check, their salary isn't keeping pace with how much these or how fast these car prices are rising. I'm not sure how long, some of these older cars are gonna hold up. But it would seem that as time goes on, less and less people would be able to afford to own their car outright, especially initially with an initial payment. It would seem like most people would have to start having a car payment. Is that the case already? It may very well be. I don't really have the statistics on that. But some of the cars that I see for sale, the asking prices are a little high for the car. And I know it's only because the car has, newer technology in it. Not that it looks any better than maybe a car that was made by that same company 5 years ago. Not that it looks any better, but because it has some newer technology in it, I know that owner is asking for a little more money. But then I'm also thinking, there's not as many people that are gonna want to pay that price for that car. So it's like some people are either they're gonna have to take some money off their asking price, or they're gonna be stuck with their car for a while, or they're gonna be stuck with that car because nobody's gonna want to pay the higher amount that they want for it because it's not worth it. A lot of prices they're asking, it's not worth it for a person with a regular job, a regular paycheck. It's not worth it for them to save up for a long period of time to pay that car off and then go back to being, completely broke again or completely poor again. An example would be like, say there's a car that you want and you see the asking price and it's high to you, and you have a regular check, a regular salary, and it's going to take you at least 2 years to save up to be able to get that car. And then once you save up to get that car, to buy it and own it, It's going to take you 2 years to save up and buy that car and own it. Once you do, you're going to have to go back to being almost flat broke again. Would you say that's worth it? It depends on how much you want that car. But most people would probably say no. I don't want to save for 2 years, buy a car, and go back to being flat broke again. So then if you don't want to save for a long period of time to buy a car and be broke again, what option looks better? Financing looks better, because then, okay, instead of saving up for 2 years and going completely broke again, now I just gotta pay this $400 payment, even though you might or might not like that. Now you just gotta pay a $400 payment. So financing looks to be the better option for you. And so if your salary doesn't hit a certain point in this economy, you're not gonna feel comfortable, buying a car outright. The higher the prices of the cars go, if your salary isn't keeping up with it, the option that's gonna look the best for you is gonna be financing. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with financing. It's not. I'm just saying for a lot of people, owning a car is gonna be the better option, unless you have the money to finance. The reason is because when you own a car, you don't have to keep paying a payment every month, so you have money to do other things. The problem, that some people are having is they're financing a vehicle they can't really afford, or they got too much, car and not enough money. And sometimes it's their fault because they picked that car, and sometimes even the lowest car that they can finance, they're still paying too much, and they're paying too much to the point where other areas of their life are suffering, and they can't afford an emergency. They can't afford this or afford that because they're financing their car, and that takes up most of their money, or a lot of their money, or too much of their money.